Today, I'm making something very close to home. A simple one-pot yam dish, sometimes called yam porridge, yam soup, in our local Ghanaian language, Mpotommpoto. This is the kind of meal that feels warm, filling, and steady. And honestly, today's version is about using what I already have. Starting off with the beef, I prep by cutting into mini cubes, sizable chunks. I go ahead and prep my seasoning, but today I choose to use some fresh onions as well, in addition to some salt and my green marinade. This green marinade saves me time in the kitchen always. Now I put this together by mixing it all together. I want to say this clearly. Traditionally, this dish is made with palm oil. Today, I choose to use olive oil or any vegetable oil because this is what I have on hand today. And that's okay because cooking is not about perfection. It's about nourishment. I sear my beef under low heat because this is where the flavor develops. This is where the depth starts building quietly. You need patience for this, and whilst this browns, I move on to work on my yam by first washing it to get rid of all the sand. The process of preparing the cubed yams can be very slow, and this is a reflective moment for me. I used to think being prepared, making meal, needed planning perfectly. But now I think being prepared means building small support systems for myself, like using a lot of my frozen blend and preparing my protein ahead of time when I can. Simple meals that I trust, and knowing that control doesn't have to come from doing everything. Now I'm using my frozen caramelized into onion, the beef, and a blend of ginger and garlic. This is something in my frozen marinade of time, which helps me cook quicker in the kitchen. And then in goes some crushed tomatoes and some tomato paste. I stir and let this cook slowly. I cover to simmer. When the flavors of the tomatoes is built perfectly, I add in the sliced yams or cubed yams. I stir, making sure everything is coated, and then I add in my seasoning, which is salt and seasoning cube. Now I add in my water to make sure I have enough to cook the yams. Whilst this simmers, I want to pause for a second. There are seasons where cooking feels like a lot of pressure, and seasons where it feels like a little bit of care. Lately, I've been thinking about how quickly my little one is growing, how meals like this feel ordinary now, and actually, memories being built in real life. You don't have to cook perfectly, you just have to show up consistently, and that counts more than you think. These yams look cooked now. They break off naturally, and that's a good sign. And that's what makes this dish creamy without adding any cream. You know, I used to think being prepared meant planning everything perfectly. Now I think being prepared means building small support for yourself. A frozen blend, prepped protein, simple meals you can truly trust. Control doesn't have to come from doing everything. It comes from knowing when you can feed yourself no matter how fast life is moving. And this is some kind of peace. For me, this food is a comfort food. It's cultural food and real life food. If this kind of cooking brings you a little calm into your week, you are always welcome here. Because cooking isn't just about food. It's about how we take care of ourselves.